Hey everyone, welcome back with Mac, where today for the final comparison of the year that will hopefully serve as an early Christmas present for y'all, the two most well-regarded WWE titles of all time. Of course, if you heard of wrestling games, you've heard of the two legends, the giants, the icons known as WWF No Mercy and WWE Smackdown. Here comes the pain. As usual, we look at the time of release, gameplay, rosters, single player modes, creation options, and any other extras either game has to offer to give those watching a hopefully objective view at either two Aki titles or how Aki titles stand up compared to other wrestling games. Aki content every Sunday, so remember to like and subscribe and ring the notifications bell to be reminded of future reviews, playthroughs, and of course, more comparisons. Enough stalling though, let's break it down. Time for release dates. The Aki made No Mercy was made when the WWE was still referred to as the World Wrestling Federation, which, to this day, I still consider to be the superior name. It made its debut exclusively for the N64 on November 17th of 2000. Smackdown, Here Comes the Pain was developed by Ukes and hit the scene on October 27th, 2003. So these games weren't too far apart from each other. No Mercy was the 8th wrestling game overall made by Aki and 6th on the Nintendo 64. Here Comes the Pain was the 5th Ukes WWE game, and believe it or not, was actually the 16th overall wrestling game made by the company in some shape or form. So both companies certainly had a plethora of experience by the time these games releases. They were also the last of their franchises in a way, as No Mercy would be the Aki's franchise's final title with the promotion, and after Here Comes the Pain, the SmackDown vs. Raw series would begin. So in a way, these games were an end of an era for both. Let's see what they left behind. Both games, as previously mentioned, are at the peak of their franchise's performances. No Mercy, developed by Aki, of course, always features the classic Aki gameplay that focuses more on replicating real-life pro wrestling contests, featuring weak grapples and wear-down holds that will eventually lead into strong grapples and strikes that will end the match with a variety of situations seen on TV. In Smackdown Here Comes the Pain, it keeps the same style of play seen in earlier Smackdown titles. It's still a bit fast-paced, but slowed down considerably compared to the PS1 titles. More options for grapples here are now present, as pressing the circle button with a direction chooses the kind of grapple initiated. Pressing circle again with the direction then unleashes an actual attack. Strikes can be chained together to unleash combos, and the devastating gut kick is here to set up finishers. Speaking of finishers, in No Mercy you build up momentum until your attitude meter begins flashing and you taunt to have a few seconds to perform a finisher in a variety of situations. For example, The Rock has the Rock Bottom as his front finisher, but the People's Elbow as his upper body ground finisher. The Spine Buster is his Irish Whip rebound finisher, so there are a variety of ways to finish off the opposition in here. Smackdown Here Comes the Pain offers two finisher options where once again you gain enough momentum to net a finishing move that you can then hold on to it for as long as you like. You can store up to 5 of them in a match at once. Some wrestlers do have 2 finishing moves, but others like Triple H or Stone Cold instead have the option to choose a different variation of their iconic signatures. So if you don't like the normal pedigree, maybe the second variation will suit your fancy better. Both games offer a massive amount of choice in weapons and can turn the tide of matches with their power. Once again, both games will allow you to travel backstage. No Mercy allows this in any match other than cage or ladder options. Here Comes the Pain only lets you head backstage if it is a hardcore bout. They are both very good with what they offer, as each room has a multitude of reasons to fight inside them, and Here Comes the Pain even has more areas to explore due to the destructive environment. Both games are great in terms of match options. No Mercy has special match types that include cage, submission, first blood, ladder, Iron Man, and guest referee. Here Comes the Pain, however, outright trumps No Mercy in this regard, with pretty much every match type imaginable. In fact, it'd be easier to list the matches not included that were prevalent in WWE at the time. Hell in a Cell, 3 Stages of Hell, Slobber Knocker, and for the 2 new in the series, Bra and Panties matches, and Elimination Chamber. Also worth mentioning is that both games offer blood, but Here Comes the Pain is the first in the Smackdown series to feature this, despite it being a big part of the product for a long while, being into the Ruthless Aggression era at this point. No Mercy seems to offer a deeper, more realistic gameplay style, but Here Comes the Pain makes up for that with balls to the walls, batshit insane physics, and match variety. So looking at what both have to offer, you immediately understand why these two are the titans of the scene, even well over 20 years later. Despite being only 3 short years apart, the world of professional wrestling is fast-paced and wrestlers are cycled in and out of television and replaced weekly. The roster differences are noticeable for all to see. That doesn't mean there isn't any crossover. Wrestling superstars featured in both games include legends such as The Undertaker, Kane, The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H, Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, Shawn Michaels, Chris Benoit, Edge, Christian, the Dudley Boys, Eddie Guerrero, and more. Mid-cutters and No Mercy made their way to the top by the time Here Comes the Pain hit the scene, while main eventers and megastars were on their way out. No Mercy features exclusive talent from what many consider peak WWF that are exclusive, like Jeff Hardy, Mankind, Ken Shamrock, Godfather, Dean Malenko, Chyna, D'Lo Brown, Mark Henry, and even Shane McMahon. Other notable exclusives in Here Come the Pain are rising stars of the Ruthless Aggression era, like John Cena, Batista, Randy Orton, Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas, and Rob Van Dam. Previous Aki talent from WCW games like Goldberg, Rey Mysterio, Booker T, Ric Flair, Ultimo Dragon, and Roddy Piper make an appearance in Here Comes the Pain, just to name a few. As you can see, completely stacked rosters, and even more legends and notable names I haven't even mentioned. Both games have their places in history due to their rosters alone, but that isn't all that these games have on offer. Let's check out the single player modes. Both modes are considered once again to be the peak of wrestling game single player content, with Championship mode in No Mercy and Season mode in Here Comes the Pain. Championship allows you to pick from one of 7 titles available in the WWF at the time and play from 5 to 10 chapters depending on which title is chosen. The difficulty is also dependent on which belt. For example, the women's title is the easiest and has 5 chapters to finish, while the tag team and world title have 10 chapters and are the most difficult as far as AI goes. Each path has a variety of story options available that differ depending on the title you pick, and your wins and losses matter, as the outcome of a match can change the story completely. Once you win the belt, you then can defend the title as well. That opens up even more new path options. Completing a path earns you money for the shop and tracks your progress, as multiple playthroughs are required to get 100%. Here Comes the Pain has Season Return, but is more personalized experience compared to the PlayStation 1 titles. Select a superstar and make your way to the top of the company either on Raw or SmackDown, as this was during the initial brand split. You can also edit the rosters at the start and place who you want on each show, except the champions, who have to stay with the show that the belt represents. You have monthly storylines that aren't really affected by wins or losses, but that doesn't mean you don't want to win. you have superstar points to determine whether or not you can compete for titles. You are also asked questions to determine upcoming stories as well, like whether or not you want to make teams or stables, compete at European tours, go for titles, or more. You can also go to the general manager of your brand and ask for transfers or title matches too. Along with that, between matches you can head to places backstage at random points and talk to superstars in the area. Having positive interactions will net you more superstar points, but negative ones will take away superstar points. Be careful though, as some people backstage usually end up where you lose regardless of the choice you make. Each match earns more Smackdown dollars for Here Comes the Pain's in-game shop, but we'll get more into that later on. Both modes thrived then and now due to the unbelievable choice the player has in both, and it is this control that I think is the reason these games still live on in the hearts of those who played it since. Time for the creation options. In No Mercy we have Create a Superstar, which allows up to 18 unique creations, each with 4 attire options. A wide variety of choices for outfits, moves, and the ability to select fighting styles and enemies. Clothes and moves from all previous Aki games and more available in the Smackdown Mall. You also have the option to change anyone's order on the character select screen, or the option to change music, profile pictures, height, weight, and appearance of any of the 4 outfits for the base roster. The only other create mode in No Mercy is create a pay-per-view. Name it, select the venue, and then set up matches with the option of championship matches also. Finally, you have the option to store wrestlers to the memory card and then trade them with your friends, which was a pretty cool feature at the time. Create options for Here Comes the Pain also include cause. 1 outfit option for each wrestler, but you have the ability to create up to 32 unique wrestlers. Appearances for both entrance and match attires are equal opportunity here, whereas No Mercy only allows specific outfit options for entrances. You have free reign over what creations look like in Here Come the Pain with the body morphin option, so you can make some gnarly looking dude or dudettes. This focuses on specific body parts too, so while we take for granted nowadays, this is probably some of the most detail-oriented creative character features in any game ever, only being outclassed by modern wrestling games. You can also choose templates of Yuke's created characters, but I never really understood the point. I'm assuming it's some form of trying to create inspiration, but I don't know. Although a lot of these are clearly modeled after superstars not included, you pick their name and crowd signs under the profile option and can preset attributes with little starting points on offer though. Finally, some basic AI and the basics are down. In movesets, you can edit created or pre-existing wrestler movesets and entrances, and even set pre-made movesets of wrestlers not included, but you will need to unlock them in the shop first. Create a stable returns, but only 2 or 3 wrestlers can be paired together. Finally, you can create animations in Here Comes the Pain for movesets, including, but not limited to, fighting stances, running animations, walk cycles, taunts, and even winning animations. But the options are still somewhat limited. It's still cool to have. They removed this feature from future games, and I think it's because most people didn't really use them. Creating finishers or other actual moves also didn't make the cut in this game either, sadly, but still a wide variety of features, and Here Comes the Pain. No Mercy has survival mode as a bonus addition. Choose a wrestler and arena and then try to outlast 100 other wrestlers while earning money for eliminations, pins, submissions, TKO, and ring out are possible options for disposing foes, and you get a different dollar amounts for the difficulty of the elimination type. Unlock almost everyone in the game by eliminating them yourself, and if you eliminate all 100 superstars, then you get a $1 million bonus. Finally, King of the Ring would be the last exclusive feature in No Mercy for this comparison, which allows either 16 teams or individuals to compete in a single elimination tournament named after the event itself. Lastly, the option to put a title up for grabs in the tournament is here as well. Here Comes the Pain mostly focuses on season, but Slobber Knocker is still here for those who enjoyed it. No money is earned, but 3 options are available here: 10-minute time limit, no limit, or anywhere falls. In time limit, beat as many as you can in, well, 10 minutes. In no limit, beat as many as you can before being eliminated yourself. And finally, anywhere is where you start from outside the arena, defeat 4 superstars in an area, then move on to the next until you finish all rooms while being timed. The most you get is your name on a high score top 10 list when you choose the match type options, but once again, it's better than nothing, even if these modes might seem trivial to today's kids. The final feature I'll cover are the in-game shops. No Mercy has the WWF Smackdown Mall, and Here Comes the Pain features the WWE Shop Zone. Spend your hard-earned cash in these shops to unlock wrestlers, moves, arenas, and outfits. And Here Comes the Pain, you can also buy loading screens, while No Mercy, you have to buy special weapons. It takes multiple playthroughs of Championship and Season mode in these games to buy everything, and the shop offers great replay value because of this. This was before the days where you could throw your real life money into the mix to buy all the unlockables, but the grind in these games are still heavy, especially with No Mercy shop, as you have to be dedicated to the cause to unlock everything available, including the Godfather's hose and this $80,800 shirt.
What?
Overall, these games offer a lot of content and play options. Here Comes the Pain is objectively king when it comes to options available like match types and arenas, but other things such as roster, gameplay, and single player are up to the player's choice. Some may call us fans nostalgia blind, but I disagree. Remembering a game, playing it for an hour or so, and just thinking about the good old days the whole time when you're playing it is being nostalgia blind. But the ability to pick up a game, play it for days on end, or at least whenever you have free time to do so, and having just as much fun creating new memories of the title isn't playing it with rose-tinted glasses. Sure, when I play, I do think of the rosters of the time and the on-screen product back in its day, but when something is so good, you can keep coming back for more and bring old and new friends into the mix to experience something of this caliber, you know you have a great game on hand. This, in my opinion, encapsulates both No Mercy and Here Comes the Pain. Legends of their day, but still good enough and replayable for someone new to fall in love with is the mark of an amazing experience. So whether you choose No Mercy or Here Comes the Pain, just remember to be respectful down below. And legends never die. That's the end of our video today, but please make sure to like and hit subscribe down below, and once again, comment your preference of game in the comments, but remember to be respectful. After all, we are just talking about video games at the end of the day. Ring the bell to be notified of daily content and Aki comparisons, reviews, and playthroughs every single bloody Sunday. But above all else, remember to have a nice day.